Ever notice how you just feel sharper after a good run? Like your brain is firing on all cylinders? Well, get this, it's not just a feeling. Turns out running actually rewires your brain, and the changes start happening way faster than you might think.
It's true. What's fascinating is that we often think about brain changes happening over months or years, but this research shows how even a single week of running can make a difference.
A single week, that's wild.
Yeah.
We're diving into a study called Running Changes the Brain, long and short of it, and it's got some seriously mind-blowing stuff. I always thought new brain cells were like a baby thing, but apparently our brains are making new ones all the time through this process called neurogenesis. Did I say that right?
You did. And you're right, it's happening all the time. But this study highlights how running actually boosts neurogenesis, especially in a part of the brain called the hippocampus, basically your memory command center.
Okay, so running is like giving our brains a memory upgrade. Sign me up. But how does that even work?
Yeah.
What's the connection there?
Well, when you run, your brain interprets that physical activity as a signal to get ready to learn and adapt. It's almost like your brain thinks, hey, we're doing something new here, better level up. Ha! This triggers a whole cascade of changes, starting with increased blood flow and a surge in these things called neurotransmitters.
Neurotransmitters, right. They're like the messengers in your brain, making sure all the signals are getting through.
Precisely. And there's one in particular that plays a key role here, BDNF, which stands for brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of BDNF as a kind of miracle grow for your brain cells. It helps them grow, survive, and connect with each other.
So more running, more BDNF, more brain power. I'm liking where this is going. The study mentions the hippocampus a lot. What's so special about that part of the brain, and how does running actually change it?
The hippocampus is your brain's memory central. It's responsible for forming new memories, everything from where you parked your car this morning to what you had for dinner last night. But here's the really interesting part. Running doesn't just impact the hippocampus as a whole. It actually affects different sections of it in different ways.
Move on, different parts for different types of memories. Does that mean running could make me better at remembering faces and directions?
Right.
Because that would be amazing.
That's what's so fascinating. There's a part of your hippocampus called the dentate gyrus, and it's essential for helping you distinguish between similar experiences, like remembering where you parked your car today versus yesterday, even if it's in the same parking lot.
Oh, wow. My brain could definitely use some help in that department. This study claims these changes happen after just 1 week. That's barely enough time to form a new habit. What did they do? Hook these people up to brain scanners while they were on the treadmill?
It wasn't quite that simple, although the technology is pretty amazing. They used a special tracing method that allows them to track how the circuits in the brain actually change over time. It's like being able to see the wiring in your brain get rerouted right before your eyes.
Okay, now I have to hear more about this tracing method. How does that even work? And what did it show about the changes happening that quickly?
Imagine being able to tag brand new brain cells and then watch them link up with the rest of the network. That's essentially what this tracing method does. Researchers use a safe type of virus to label dividing cells and then track the connections they make. And get this, even after just 1 week of running, those new neurons in the dentate gyrus, that area we talked about, were getting way more input from the entorhinal cortex.
Entorhinal wait, that sounds familiar. Doesn't that have something to do with memory too?
It does. It's like the hippocampus's personal assistant, filtering and organizing information before it gets stored as a memory. So this increased connectivity from running suggests that your hippocampus might become much more efficient at processing new information.
Wow, so after just a week, our brains are basically getting a memory upgrade thanks to a little jogging. That's incredible motivation right there.
And the changes don't stop there. After a month of running, the study found even more dramatic rewiring, especially in the connections between new brain cells in an area that acts like the hippocampus's emotional tagging system, basically linking memories to how they made you feel.
Okay, that is so cool. I'm always wondering how my brain decides which memories to hold on to. It's like some experiences just really stick with you, you know? So running is boosting that whole process.
Exactly. And it's not just about adding new neurons, though that's a big part of it. It's also about strengthening the connections between those neurons, making the entire memory network stronger and more efficient.
This is blowing my mind. We've covered neurogenesis, the hippocampus, even this emotional tagging system. But how does it actually feel? What else is going on in our brains while all this rewiring is happening?
Well, remember those neurotransmitters we talked about earlier? They play a crucial role in all of this. The study found that running influences the activity of a few key ones, especially BDNF, which helps those connections between neurons grow even stronger.
So it's like upgrading to fiber optic internet for your brain. Faster speeds and a stronger signal.
Exactly. Running makes those connections more robust, making it easier to learn and remember things long term.
Okay, so if I hit the treadmill before my next big presentation, I'm good to go, right? Just kidding, mostly. But seriously, this all sounds amazing. So it's not just runner's high, it's runner's brain boost.
Yeah.
I've totally felt that post-run clarity myself. It's like my brain gets a total refresh.
Exactly. And those benefits can last way longer than just that hour after your run. Studies show that regular exercise like running can actually improve your memory over time, make you a more flexible thinker, and even help protect your brain from those annoying age-related declines.
Okay, you've convinced me. Time to dust off the running shoes.
But this study focused on running specifically. What about other kinds of exercise? Do they have similar effects on the brain?
That's a question researchers are still exploring. But this study offers some interesting clues. Remember how it mentioned that enriched environments can also have a positive impact on the brain?
Yeah, they kind of snuck that in there. What does enriched environment even mean? Is it like hanging out at a library instead of a loud concert? Well, for mice, an enriched environment means things like running wheels, but also toys tunnels and chances to socialize. Basically anything that keeps their brains and bodies active. And studies have shown that these enriched environments can lead to a lot of the same brain changes we've been talking about. More new brain cells, stronger connections.
So maybe it's not just about one single activity, but a mix of physical and mental stimulation that really maximizes those brain benefits. Now I'm wondering if I can justify that new brain training app I've had my eye on.
Now, that's an excellent question. And I want to leave our listeners to ponder, could there be a synergy between exercise, enriching your environment, and even targeted brain training? Is there a magic combination for a brain-boosting lifestyle?
That's something to think about on my next run. This deep dive has been incredible. It's amazing how something as simple as running can have such a huge impact on our brains.
It really shows how adaptable our brains are and how even small changes can make a world of difference.
Absolutely. So to all our listeners out there, if you're looking for a way to sharpen your mind, lift your mood, and maybe even spark some creativity, lace up those shoes and get moving. Your brain will thank you.
Indeed, it will. Happy running, everyone.